My family asked me to make family dinner per usual, but my mom was really concerned because I've been struggling with my health. So she sent me a one-pot casserole recipe, and although I love the sentiment behind it, I decided to make a simple shrimp pasta and bruschetta and dessert because no hate to casseroles, but there's a reason I was asked to make family dinner, and I have a reputation to protect. I never used a sous vide to pasteurize my eggs, but I heard it was super easy. I didn't want to man them at the pot, so I tried it, and it was a traumatizing experience. The hot, half-cooked egg plopping on my hand, I felt like a midwife. They were just so overcooked. So I ended up pasteurizing more, and I also used the sous vide, hoping that it would just work because I can't give up. My grandma loves this dessert. I cannot fail. I put my dad to work because he was like talking to me in my kitchen, which don't get me wrong, I love that he talks to me and that he's sweet, but if you're going to distract me, you're also going to help me, sir. He talked to the shrimpies. But I really do think because he talked to the shrimpies, that's why they tasted so good. I spent what felt like an eternity cutting baguette and getting nowhere, probably because he was stealing pieces behind my back. And these are the leave me alone and get out of my kitchen while I finish dinner appetizers for my family. So once people start showing up, I will throw them in the oven. I'll just stall them at the gate for a few minutes, give them time to toast. And here we go with the 3-bowl method again. And thankfully these eggs did not scramble like the last set, so they actually form stiff peaks. While they whip, I just get to work on the main course. I preheated my pans, made a garlic smoothie for the veggies, threw in some pasta water to the sauce after I chopped and sauteed my asparagus to like start building the base of a sauce before finally draining my pasta once it was done, and I got to sauteing my shrimp. But then by then, like, people were really close. I started panicking a little bit inside. My dad was still there, so I threw him a spatula and told him to talk to his shrimpies as he cooked them because I have to finish the shut up bruschetta. I also remembered that my tiramisu was just hanging out, so I added the mascarpone, but I also realized that there was no way I was finishing this in time to chill and getting dinner anywhere near the time I said it was going to be ready, so I refrigerated both parts of the filling and finished the bruschetta. Also, my dad threw away the shrimp juice I planned on using as the base of my sauce, so I decided to just forget the whole family has heart disease running in their veins and replace it with butter, garlic, and Chardonnay. It is what it is. It's one meal. As I worked on the wine sauce, I made my dad deal with the spinach and sauteing it in so that way I don't get blamed for the stove being a mess. I started worrying that we didn't have enough flavor or like options in case people didn't like things. I don't know why I care. So my cousin was a real one. She destemmed a whole lot of basil so that way I could make a pesto sauce. Only one problem is that whenever I tasted it, it tasted like the Dead Sea. So I internally started freaking out and like crying, but internally it's actually really good. And I realized I actually just forgot to stir in the salt whenever I tasted it. So that's why I freaked out and the whole crisis was avoided. As soon as everyone made their plates and sat down and got out of my kitchen, I took a few bites to look like, I was normal. And then I ran to the kitchen to finish the tiramisu. And let me just say, as a neurodivergent, extremely anxious girl in social situations, my biggest tip for a social gathering is to commit to way more than you're actually physically capable of. So you always have a legitimate excuse to be busy and you don't have to stick around for the awkward conversations about what your life plan is if you have a boyfriend or even just a friend for that matter, whenever you really just want to talk about your dog, but people look at you crazy whenever you talk about your dog like a human. Instead of being socially awkward, you're viewed as making sure that everyone had a good time, which you were because you're a multitasking queen with bomb tiramisu, even if it's a little bit under chilled.